Let's go right to meteorologist Michelle Grossman on the storm's current track. So, Michelle, how soon will our friends in Florida begin to feel the impacts here?
Hey there, really great to see you. Well, our friends in the Keys are going to feel those impacts later on today. Right now, Cuba is getting slammed. Tonight, it will be the Keys, and then into tomorrow, Thursday, we're looking at central and southern Florida. So let's take a look at the latest, because we are looking at a very strong storm, Category 3 storm. It blossomed overnight, it rapidly intensified, and it's still strengthening. We're going to see a Category 4 storm. So we're looking at winds at 125 miles per hour. That's a very strong Category 3 storm. 130 miles per hour is going to give you a Category 4 storm. So likely today, we're looking at movement at 12 miles per hour. That's a good pace right now. It's going to spend some time, a couple hours over Cuba, then it's going to head into the Gulf. It's going to slow down, like Sam mentioned, down to 3 to 4 mile per hour pace. That's a walking pace, really a recovery walk pace. 19 million people at risk. That's a lot of people in portions of southern Florida, portions of Georgia, into the Keys, also Cuba. We're again looking at that very strong storm, and we only expect it to get stronger and slower, and it's going to widen as it heads into the Gulf. So here is the track. Category 3 storm. Expecting to be a Category 4 storm later on today, certainly by 2 a.m. on Wednesday, looking at winds at 130 miles per hour. Remember, this is right off the coast, so this is going to start the storm surge. It's going to start the hurricane force winds, the tropical storm force winds. It's going to drop heavy rainfall. We could see 24 inches of rain in some spots. Then we expect that landfall early Thursday morning as a Category 3 storm. We were hoping it was going to weaken as it encountered some wind shear, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. We're looking at a Category 3 storm. That's a major storm into or near Tampa. So that's going to be one to watch very, very closely. It holds its strength, meaning it's going to be really gusty winds, damaging winds, very heavy rainfall. Also could see some storm surge into Georgia and the Carolinas, and that's going to be story into the weekend. So storm surge, that's the first one. This is what we're most concerned with. This is a wall of salt water. It's a push of wind that pushes water onto dry land. In addition to the rainfall, the fresh water that is falling from the sky. So widespread and destructive Gulf water inundation. We could see up to 10 feet of storm surge anywhere from Cedar Key down to Fort Myers, especially where you see this pink coloring. Tampa, you're included in that, and Tampa Bay as well. You're most at risk there. Now, what is storm surge? Well, it's when that normal sea level rises and moves overland. So it's that salt water, that push of salt water over the dry land. And this is where we see the deadliest threat from a hurricane. Water is the deadliest threat. The storm surge, in addition to those flash flooding rains that we're expecting over time. That takes us to rainfall, extensive flooding. Where you see these darker colors, I say it often, the brighter colors, that means we're going to see the most rain. And we could see up to 24 inches of rain in some spots. So generally 12 to 24. And that's because that storm, like Sam said, is just going to be sitting off the coast, bringing heavy, heavy rain. Of course, with a hurricane, you think of the winds. We're looking at destructive winds that will cause significant damage to houses and buildings, catastrophic damage. We're going to take weeks and weeks, months to rebuild. Also, impassable roads and bridges. This is why it's so important to heed the warnings. If you do have an evacuation notice, this is why you need to get out, because that window is closing and you don't want to be stuck in water that you won't be able to get out of. So we're looking at winds gusting up to 117 miles per hour in Tampa, 127 miles per hour in St. Pete. Those are really strong winds. Even when you move inland, we're looking at tropical storm force winds as well. Power disruption, we're going to see power out. It's warm in September. In Florida, we could see power out for up to 2 inches of rain, 2 inches at a time. And then I'll end it here, because we are looking at a severe threat. Whenever you have a landfalling hurricane, we could see the threat for storms. This will be over the next 3 days. We even had hurricane warnings as early as 2:30 this morning in portions of the Keys. Back to you.
And all of that is why the mayor of Tampa is saying, get out now. Yeah. Meteorologist Michelle Grossman. Michelle, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Guys, those are huge numbers of rainfall, storm surge, and winds that are about to hit the west coast of Florida.
Really is. And again, just hitting it in a spot, it looks right now, and of course, this could all change very quickly, but it looks right now like it's going to be a bullseye, Mika, on the most populated area along Florida's west coast, the Tampa-St. Pete area, and an area where it's going to cause the most damage.
And there's nowhere for the water to go. That's the biggest problem there. All right, turning now.